What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Excuse me while I get the bit that I just dropped. I love working on these. Arcades. Gotta have the right tool for the job. Okay, so that out of the way, where are we at? So the monitor's back in, the chassis was repaired. I reinstalled it. Now I'm going through the fun task of reinstalling the monitor. Now, if you remember from last time, I had a hell of a time getting these screws out. In fact, so much so that I had to drill one of them out up here. So that is still in the hole up there, and that's where it will stay. I'm not going to worry about trying to get that thing out. But I did get a little bit smarter, just a little bit smarter with my tool. So I have basically a 1/4-inch drive ratchet, extension, and then a 1/4-inch drive socket. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 1/4-inch drive socket. And then I have a S3? Square 3? No, not square 3. This is a the number 3 Phillips head screwdriver bit, and so I'm putting them all in, and so this should give me much more control, way more torque with the ratchet. So we're gonna see what we can see now. This is gonna be fun because, like I talked about last time, as I took this apart, the plastic side sort of sprang open, so now I'm gonna have to kind of mess with it, lift it up just a little bit to kind of get it to line up to get the first ones installed. There we go. Alright, so top ones aren't quite as bad, but get this installed, get this tight, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, okay, so the fat part of the cabinet, where it kind of bulges out all bulbous and whatnot. I dropped the bit again. When you do this, it's not going to stay actually in the socket. So up here, I really just had to kind of lift the monitor up to get those two installed. Got one more to get and that'll be done. Down here you can see I was kind of popped out. So what we're going to have to do is, I have to do that. So I'm going to have to lean on maybe this side. Try to get that one screw started. Once you get one in all 4 corners, we can get you. Let's get a better one. That's not a good one. Let's get, this has got a little bit better cross that we can get into here. All right, so let's heave-ho this bad boy. There we go. And I couldn't really see it, but I was just pushing the screw. Once the holes lined up, the screw just kind of dropped into place a little bit. Don't scratch the artwork, Fox. What are you doing? All right, so once you get that one done, snug it up, and then the alignment is a little bit off, so I may have to, let me go ahead and loosen it now while I'm thinking about it. Just loosen it off like a 3/4 of a turn, and then I'll have to push that in. Let's go ahead and try that now. Let's go ahead and try to get, I can get a crappy one. Where's it at? Okay. All right, so let's try to do the same thing down here. We're going to push it. It's on the flat. Is it lined up? No, it's actually, okay, cool. It's actually going in there. It did look like it was lined up, but it was. So we're not going to go all the way down because I want to have a little bit of wiggle room on that side. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's a decent size gap there. Same thing. We are almost home free, really. We get this one in, and it should be no big deal to get that one in. And I know I was complaining before in the last video about having to do it this way, but this is probably the way that you really should do it. Just go ahead and take the monitor out with these brackets installed. It's the right way to go. I don't think the gap was quite as bad as I thought. All right, that's in there pretty good. Okay, so one here, and then all the screws are in, and then we can go around and tighten all the screws. Cool, okay. And then all we'll have to do is pull the cabinet out and then connect the wires, and then hopefully everything will just fire right up, right? Right? Okay, so I've got everything connected. We've got power plugged into the wall. Let's go ahead and take our board monitor adjustment board. We're going to go ahead and put this bad boy back right here. All right. So with my monitor adjustment board mounted in its stock location, let's go ahead and close up the control panel. I have power plugged in. I have power connected to the monitor. I have the video signal connected to the monitor. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what we got. Something sounded better already. Oh, that looks good. Audio. What's up with my audio? Why don't I have audio? Oh, I know why I don't have audio, because the speakers are in the actual bezel. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Let's mess with our adjustments here. All right, so with all that checked out, I had a ground wire I forgot to install. I can go ahead and place this on the cabinet. As you can hear, I got sound for sure now. Always helps when the speakers are plugged in. Little tech tip there. But yeah, other than that, I think we're in good shape. So monitor looks pretty good. I may have to do a little bit more tweaking, but for the most part, she is good to go. So this bezel, it's just hard plastic like the rest of everything else. So you got 2 screws right here underneath the control panel. You gotta install. They're about the same size as the 4 that, or the 8 that hold the monitor in place. And those down. And then you got these really long screws. And they go into the back like this. And I just dropped a bit again. Really need like a, I know they sell sockets that have your screwdriver bits on them. And I suggest doing it this way. Don't use just like a regular screwdriver. You're just not going to have, I think, quite enough torque to really get it in there. They have the president's daughter. Where is her? I love they don't give her like a name. With the dialogue, they just keep calling her the president's daughter. The bad guys call her the president's daughter. Where is the president's daughter? Give her a name, like something. John McClane, buddy. There we go. Got him. Okay, so this is for the most part a success, but with every success in life comes also failure. Let me show you what I'm talking about right over there. What? No! That's not easy, but can you imagine? All right, so we've got the cabinet off so you can actually hear what I'm saying, but this is the inside of the OutRun 2 cabinet. You've got the soundboard down here. The power comes in. Here's the power supply that breaks off all the power to all the different components. This is a USB, I'm sorry, not a USB, but an Ethernet hub for linking cabs together. So that's what that is. There's actually a lot of ports on here. I think there's like, what is it, 8? Yeah, 8 ports. So linkability would have been amazing if I had the room. Of course, this is the Chihiro board here. Above you have the monitor, the speaker, the marquee, and all that good stuff. Off to the side, right here, this is your GD-ROM. This is your, this is your basically an external CD-ROM, or GD-ROM in this case. And it plugs into the Chihiro board with this big cable here. So, what's wrong? Well, it's really only one of two things. It's either going to be the board that the GD-ROM interfaces with. It could be the actual cable itself, or most likely it is going to be the GD-ROM. When I took the board off and when the ROM was working, it sounded like it was grinding, like there was a big issue, like maybe the actual laser itself was going back and forth and not being able to find the disc. So These can be kind of expensive, maybe 200 bucks, maybe 300 bucks, depending on where you find them. I actually found a replacement. It's actually the internal. It's not the whole casing, so I'm going to have to actually decase this and put the new guts in for about 45 bucks. I'm going to give that a try. But what if I told you there was another solution that costs, I don't know, maybe 10 times that price? Those of you that may be familiar with the Chihiro board that powers this OutRun 2 cabinet knows that the GD-ROM was not the only way that they actually played the games, or the games connected to the board. Later on in the life of the console, they had a board that was actually built inside that housing, and basically the game was stored on that board. I believe it was compact flash. So what you would see is when you would take off the top of the Chihiro main board, instead of the cable leaving the cabinet and going out to the GD-ROM, it was a smaller flex cable that just connected to another board, and the game was on that. So I could just completely get rid of the GD-ROM altogether, right? And just, you know, go with that option. But that's $300. That's expensive. I mean, maybe you can find it cheaper here or there, but it would be a better option. Just go ahead and stick with the GD-ROM replacement that I have, give that a shot, and see if that fixes the problem. And for 45 bucks, yeah, it's not too bad. But those of you that are also familiar with the OutRun 2 cabinet know that there is another version of the OutRun 2 game, OutRun 2 SP. So what if I told you that I found that very expensive solution that also had OutRun 2 SP on that board itself? So I'm going to buy, you know, if you bought this board that had this game that wasn't the CD-ROM, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about the GD-ROM messing up. You wouldn't have to worry about a physical CD or the security chip or any of that stuff. It was kind of like an all-in-one solution. And then, of course, load times and all that are faster. If you've ever played these cabinets, you know that the load times for the CD or the GD-ROM, that disc spinning up takes a very long time to load the game. But loading times really only affect you when you're booting up the game. But it is a performance increase for sure. Well, I was able to find that. I was actually able to find, after I found the GD-ROM replacement for 45 bucks, lo and behold, one of my saved searches on eBay brought that to my attention. A Chihiro board with the compact flash game option, and it had OutRun 2 SP on it. So I thought, why not spend more money? Yeah, so 300 bucks, and I'm going to have a backup board that's supposedly going to have the game that I really want, the better version of the game that's going to have more tracks and more cars, more music, all that good stuff, right? I'm going to get more out of this cabinet, and it's definitely the way to go if you can find it. Now, the more affordable way is definitely to find just the disc and the security dongle, and you're in better shape if you have a GD-ROM that is actually working. And at the end of the day, you could probably save about 100 bucks. Those discs are usually going north of 100, closer to 200 when you get the disc and the actual dongle. The actual disc and security chip for the standard edition of OutRun, the one that I have, you can find that on eBay right now for 100 bucks. It's really no big deal. Nobody really wants to go with that version. They usually want to upgrade to the SP. So I'm going to have a couple different solutions for you. I'm going to have a standard, probably the cheapest way to make this repair, if all goes well, right? Providing that the GD-ROM is bad. If I get this part, install it, and the GD-ROM, that doesn't fix my issue, the issue could be the cable, or it could be the actual board in the Chihiro that actually connects to the GD-ROM that could be the issue. In any event, if those parts fail, I have another backup, another expensive backup. So yeah, real arcades, while they are great and they are the standard that all others are judged by, they're also really expensive to maintain. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. You have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time.